here's a fun story. My dad bought me a Strat, a black and white one, like the good ones. And he bought it at a pawn shop. It was actually a Squire. So he bought me this Strat for $70, and he was like, here's your guitar. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I went and I was plugging it up into all these different amps, and I was like, this is the amp that I want. And he was like, amp? What are you talking about? And I was like, it's an electric guitar. You have to. I started on electric, so I was like, you have to have an amp. And he was like, no, we're not getting an amp. And I was like, what? And so he was like, whenever you decide that this is something you're going to stick with, then we'll get an amp. But today, we're just taking this guitar home. So I was at my house, in my room, with the Blink-182 tab book, with a Strat, like Tom DeLonge. I don't want to say that Tom DeLonge was one of my influences.
I guess he was, though.
I don't want to say that.
Tom.
Anyways, I'm in my room, and I'm trying to figure out how to palm mute, because that's the only thing you do if you're trying to play Blink-182 songs. And since I didn't have an amp, I didn't know that you know how, like, when you push the strings down and then you, like, you know how to palm mute?
Oh, yeah.
You don't
I know how to do it.
I thought palm muting was when you, like, didn't push the strings in all the way.
Okay.
Like, you just put your finger, like, on top of the chord and you went. But, like, then I got, like, so I was, like, palm muting, playing, but I wasn't palm muting. I was just, like, hovering my fingers over the strings. Then, a few months later, whenever I proved that I was learning a lot of songs, I got an amp, and then I plugged it in. The first thing I went to go do was palm mute, and it was just going fling, 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 fling. Like, it wasn't actually palm muting because I wasn't pushing the strings down.
You realized
And I was super bummed because then I figured out how to actually palm mute, and I was like, this is really hard. It's going to take a long time.
Okay.
And then I didn't get to play the Blink-182 songs like I imagined them in my head for several more months.
So when you left without an amp, were you mad at your dad? Because when you're older, you're like, and he was like, no, we're not going to do it now. When I know that you'll stick with it, we'll get you an amp. But
that's a good question.
But I have an 11-year-old now, and if I did that to him, even though I just bought him a guitar, while we're walking out of the store, he would be like, you never buy me anything.